Small man, itty bitty man. We're watching Ben Shapiro shred Bill Nye and other abortion activists.
Been presented with a challenge by my producers, and as you know, I love a good challenge. Today, we're going to
Ben's horny.
be presented with a series of pro-abortion arguments from Bill Nye the Science Guy, who's very scientific.
My sex job.
I'm going to debunk each of them.
Many more hundreds.
If we're gonna talk about like people who no, fuck, I just started. This is fucked up in the head. You can't stick bug me like that. If we're gonna talk about people who do embarrassing things as a way to like undermine their arguments, then Ben Shapiro has no fucking place to talk. I mean, do I really need to pull this up? I mean, come on.
He says, hey Ben, clearly a lot of women find you very attractive. Oh wait, there's more to the question. Ben Shapiro's hot says, Ben, stop insinuating I have bad taste. I run one of your most successful fan clubs, FYI. We like when you flex. Okay, well, you talked me into it. Here's second flex of the night. This is it. This is the final flex. Okay, done.
I mean, come on, man. This was uploaded a month ago. I needed this today. Thanks. Bro just mad he ain't shredded like Shabibo. Come on, man. Come on, Jack. I'm shredded in my own way.
Obligatory gun show. We'll get it out of the way. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There.
Yeah.
Full gun show this time.
Show the skin. This fucking one's much bigger than the other, Ben. Why is that? Why is one arm so much bigger than the other? Kind of weird. It's like a lot bigger. Claim to be pro-life. And yet you jack off. Curious. Don't you think you should save some for your wife? Come pick me up, it's getting weird here.
Hundreds of eggs are fertilized, then become humans.
That's true.
Eggs get fertilized, and by that I mean sperm get accepted by ova.
What I think is really funny is that Ben Shapiro is just like, he will jump on whatever the Republican talking point is in the moment. So like right now we're debunking abortion because like he's always been anti-abortion, of course. But now like he needs to talk about how it's like unscientific. Whereas before, like maybe 5-6 years ago, he would be anti-abortion, but he would talk about it from a moralistic perspective and he wouldn't intellectualize it so much. He would just say it's wrong. He would just say it's an affront against God. But I think Republicans in a lot of ways have acknowledged that that doesn't work with a lot of younger people, and instead you have to make young people feel really smart by lying, by just lying. How is it unscientific? It's real. I mean, unscientific in the sense where it's like, you know, it's a real baby, even though it's not. If life starts at the point of whatever they think, then why can't I drink 9 months before I turn 21?
A lot. But that's not all you need. You have to attach to the uterine wall, the inside of a womb.
Let's see how much Ben knows about uteruses.
A woman's womb. But if you're going to hold that as
a woman's womb? Interesting. Bill Nye says that only women can get pregnant. That's what someone like an Isaac Butterfield or an Awaken with JP would say. But Ben is holding back because he's trying to form an argument in his head right now.
Standard. That is to say, if you're going to say when an egg is fertilized, it's therefore has the same rights as an individual. Then whom are you going to sue? Whom are you going to imprison? Every woman
the mother,
who's had a
the doctor.
Fertilized egg pass through her?
Okay, stop it right there. Okay, so
he's going to say that's the same thing as a miscarriage and it's a tragedy and loss of human life. And then he's going to move the goalposts and be like, it's different than aborting babies in the 3rd trimester, 5 seconds before they are born. You shoot them with a gun, which is what the liberals are always doing.
So he's making several arguments in a row. Number 1.
Ben Shapiro never does that.
You'll notice that he says that the location of the fertilized ova is what matters, right? That once it's implanted, then presumably it is now on its way to becoming a full human life. I've noticed that his standard for abortion is not implantation. There are some politicians who believe implantation is the standard, including, for example, Newt Gingrich. That is not his standard. He has not offered a standard, you'll notice. Also,
yeah, because it's unconditional. Because Bill Nye's stance on abortion is that it should be unconditionally allowed. As it should be. No more. Oh, you think life begins at conception? Cool. Guess I'm a murderer.
The notion that a spontaneous bodily abortion, meaning your body does not actually...
Why did I think Newt Gingrich was dead?
...carry through the pregnancy, that this is treated the same way as a purposeful, deliberate abortion is very silly.
What did I say? He's equating it to something like a miscarriage.
In no area of criminal law would you treat those two things the same.
Oh, Ben. We're like 6 months from moving this from miscarriages to like failed fertilization crimes. I wish Newt Gingrich was dead. Unfortunately, he lives in my area and I've run into him before. Oh, that's awful. Evil energy. If abortion was accessible, then there would be next to no third trimester abortions. Yeah. And there still are next to no third trimester abortions. Less than 10% of abortions are in the third trimester. It's only in like severe emergencies. And it's almost never to like terminate the pregnancy on purpose. It's because the woman is going to die or the baby's already dead.
If you left your car in neutral and it slid down a hill and it hit somebody, that would not be treated the same thing as you taking your car, ramming your foot to the gas while somebody is standing right behind the car.
Ask the fucking state legislature of Oklahoma then, because this woman's still in jail, convicted of manslaughter. 4 years in prison for first-degree manslaughter. That's fucked up. So yes, Ben, people do equate abortion to intentional homicide. Or maybe not intentional homicide, but accidental homicide. Like, Ben is acting as if there's either no murder or there is murder. When it's like, no, women are being imprisoned for a miscarriage, something they have no control over. She's also an indigenous woman, and criminalization disproportionately affects women of color, especially indigenous and black women. Even still, sometimes I consider leaving my faith because of Ben Shapiro, but then I realize my being trans and a Jew probably makes him convulsed. Thank you, Adonai, for the rest you have given me. No, Ben Shapiro should not pressure you to leave Judaism. He's a horrible representation of Judaism.
Are not the same thing. As far as who'd be punished, the entire pro-life movement has made the point that it's the abortion doctor who should theoretically be punished in these cases, since he's
absurd.
Part of essentially an abortion mill.
Abortion mill. Yeah, dude. You want to know how many abortions happened in 2019 or 2021? Here, 2017. There's two different numbers here, but the CDC has it at 612,000. I think this might include Plan B pills. That's why it's a lot more. Less than 1 million, Ben. Less than 1 million. Like, there's just not that many, bro. There really just is not that many. Abortion surveillance system is a really reassuring name. What if we kissed under the abortion mill? And also, like, that's like, imagine calling it an abortion mill. Yo, yeah, let's pull up to the fucking amputation mill. That's what I'm gonna call a hospital. ASS is the acronym too.
Nobody likes abortion.
Wait, stop. Okay, so why? Why? Really? It's fine. What's the problem? He just said that it's basically the same thing as a naturally occurring thing, and half the time just kind of slides out and whatever. Why? Why does nobody like abortion? Explain.
Because of social stigma, douchebag.
Plain.
Because there are people outside of abortion clinics that threaten to kill you when you try to go get one. Also, you know what? I like abortion, Ben. I like that women are allowed to control their own bodies. I think abortion's awesome.
You can't tell somebody what to do. I mean, she has rights over this, especially if she doesn't like the guy that got her pregnant.
Okay, stop that right there. What?
All he said was, she has rights. And Ben said, excuse me, what? What? No, she does not. What about the fetus?
What? If the guy got her pregnant, and presumably we're not talking about a rape here, but just...
What if we are, asshole? What do you mean? That's what Bill Nye meant. That's what Bill Nye literally meant. He was trying to put rape lightly. She doesn't like the guy who got her pregnant. That's what he's talking about. He's just trying to be a human being. So Ben is basically saying, excluding what you're talking about, let's make an argument.
Doesn't like the guy who got her pregnant. So she gets to kill the product?
Yes. Maybe the baby has bad vibes. You ever think about that? Maybe that baby was fucked up. Conservatives never think about it, but only the mother of a child can perform the vibe check. Truly. And if the baby has fucked vibes, what do you want?
How? Why? Is there any logical connect there? At all? By the way, there are many people
Why?
who don't like the father of their children. The children are fully grown. Can I murder the child now?
Ben Shapiro asking the conservatives' greatest question. Is abortion okay after the child is born? I wonder. Ben calling a baby a product. Yeah, for some reason he didn't call it a baby. It's almost like he understands that that's not a baby.
What happens in cases of divorce? Does mommy just go to kill the kids because she and daddy don't get, like, what?
I love being honest and in good faith with my arguments.
There's no logical connect there at all.
We have so many more important things to be dealing with.
Wait, stop. What, I mean, man, this is just,
He's gonna say, what's more important than the lives of 60 million children, or however many have been aborted since Roe v. Wade was initially passed, or whatever.
he doesn't even bother to carry through the line of argument. It's just a bunch of them.
Neither do you, douchebag. You just fucking, oh, he's just gonna say it's just a bunch of emotional. You were literally just saying.
Emotional appeals. We have so many more important things to be dealing with than what? The killing of 1 million unborn human beings in the womb every year in the United
Not even close, dude. The highest estimate is 800,000. The fucking more accurate estimate is 600,000, you stupid piece of shit. Not only that, it hasn't been over 1 million since like 1992. Not only that, but he's accusing Bill Nye of making emotional appeals when he just fucking said, in a divorce proceeding, can I murder the children if I don't like the father of the child? I hate this stupid piece of shit. I hate this fucker. He's such a little fucking weasel, dude.
States. It seems like a pretty important thing.
That seems like a pretty important thing. Shut the fuck up. I hope you get aborted.
We have so many more problems. To squander resources on this argument based on...
And that's a lib-ass take. That's a lib-ass take. He's going to talk about climate change even though he's not like a very good proponent of climate change solutions.
bad science, on just lack of understanding.
No.
It's very...
Ben Shapiro literally has the world's most punchable face I have ever seen.
It's all the shit that comes out of it, man. Imagine if Ben Shapiro was a leftist. He'd be a little punchable, but not that much. It's because he has to lie and constantly shits himself at the most inconsequential, stupid fucking bullshit. Can I abort Ben if you don't like his father? Yes. Also, yeah, like, Ben has no scientific arguments. He really doesn't. He can't argue science against fucking Bill Nye. I'm pretty sure he's a physicist or some shit, right? He was on Dancing with the Stars. Okay. Early life and career. Yo, some people just don't ever, like, look different. Born in 1921? Oh no, his mom was born in 1921. I guess he's just a fucking mechanical engineer. He took an astronomy class. He's a mechanical and aerospace engineer. Okay, there you go. But even still, Ben Shapiro is not a fucking biologist. You know what I mean? My boy Bill can dance. Ben Shapiro's not a biologist. He barely understands, like, basic logic.
frustrating.
And what bad science have I presented thus far?
That you are killing a baby with an abortion. That's bad science, Ben. And he's not talking about you. That's such a disingenuous thing to say. He's acting like Bill can hear him. What bad science? What bad science? Isn't Ben just a lawyer? He's not a lawyer. He's never been a lawyer. He's never practiced law. He graduated from Harvard Law, but you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that he graduated from Harvard Law because he writes like a fucking 14-year-old in his first English class.
You wouldn't know how big a human egg was if it weren't for microscopes.
True.
So the what?
Oh, he said a swear.
Why does the size matter?
Because you think life begins at conception, you cocksucker. Because you literally cannot physically see this life with your own two eyes. You wouldn't know it existed if not for the existence of microscopes. You wouldn't even know.
I'm confused.
Yeah, you are confused because you're stupid.
He's a scientist. This is like him saying, well, you know, does atomic chemistry matter at all?
It's not what we're saying, Ben. Not at all what anyone is saying. Atomic chemistry? You really are just gonna say atomic chemistry with a straight face right now? Atoms aren't alive. And yeah, if you go like this, you're probably killing a microorganism or two. And you know what? No one considers that a life for real.
Does molecular biology matter? Like, do those things matter? I mean, if you didn't have a microscope, you wouldn't even know they exist.
If I didn't have a microscope, I wouldn't know Ben Shapiro's cock existed.
Yeah, but they have consequences, it turns
Yeah, dude, if you didn't have a microscope, you just wouldn't know. You just wouldn't know about bombs, dude. Yeah, this is what happens when you get an abortion.
out.
You wouldn't know the process. You wouldn't have that shot, the famous shot or shots where the sperm are bumping up against the egg. You wouldn't have that without...
And so he's telling you that your perspective is limited, that you think that the process of an egg being fertilized is life, when it is so far removed from the possibility of life, when there are so many factors, infinitesimal fucking factors that can prevent that fertilized egg from becoming a human being. But all you think of is sperm going egg, baby, because you're stupid, because you're a dumb.
Without science.
Right, and we do. So, and your point is That we'd be better off if we were ignorant, like you appear to be?
We would be better off if Ben Shapiro never existed on the planet. If Ben Shapiro was aborted. Case in point.
You stupid.
Man, the science guy over here. I love this. He's deriding science in order to avoid the consequences of his own arguments. He's like, you wouldn't even know about sperm and egg if it weren't for me, the science guy, and that's...
Bill is making a very annoying argument that leaves a lot of holes and a lot of criticism, which is why Ben probably tackles it, because he's basically incapable of making real arguments when he's presented with actual facts, which normally he'll just move the goalposts or whatever, but he probably saw this, or his producers saw this and were like, this will be an easy one. This will be a softball for Ben because he's stupid and incoherent. So I'm going to give this to him. And even still, he fails to make actual genuine arguments. But besides that, this isn't an argument. There's no debate here. Because me getting mad at Ben doesn't change anything for women who need abortions or even want an abortion. Because I am an advocate for rights. Because I like when people don't die. And I like when people don't get fucking pregnant when they don't want to be. I like when people aren't forced into an existence under poverty, under child abuse, have to go into the foster system. I prefer that just not even be an option. But ultimately, regardless of whatever I want for this potential life that happens, I want women to be able to make their own fucking choices without little mouse-faced dipshit assholes like Ben Shapiro standing around influencing political parties like the Republican Party, influencing politicians, and standing around and being like, well, Bill Nye doesn't know biology. He's only a graduate of an astrophysics fucking school. I'm Ben Shapiro, and I wrote a book in 2003 about how porn is degrading Western society. I don't know how a pussy gets wet. I'm Ben Shapiro. I don't know how my dick works because I just have faith or whatever. That's not an argument. It's not an option anymore. I'm done debating. I'm done fucking telling people that, you know what? Women should have rights. Women should be able to undergo a procedure that they choose to undergo. And ultimately, this might just be a fucking tinfoil hat moment, but ultimately, I think this is an offshoot of how severely transphobic Ben and other conservative commentators have been. Because, and I'll say this fucking over and over again, trans rights and women's rights go hand in fucking hand. Because if we can legislate what trans people can and cannot do with their bodies, then nothing stops us from legislating what women can and cannot do with their bodies. And it'll never happen to men. It'll never. I could go and get a vasectomy fucking tomorrow. But if a woman my age, 22 years old, wants to go get her tubes tied, it's a lot different of a fucking process. I promise you that. Regardless of what state you're in. And it's different state to state. Which is also brilliant fucking system that Ben loves to consistently and frequently defend. Is this system where you can cross an arbitrary invisible line that's more like a sign on the side of a fucking highway that's covered in fucking litter and bullshit and potholes. And then all of a sudden the laws are different. And that's fucking awesome. Because the minority of people who live in this enclave like fucking Oregon that's racist as shit decided, hey, I want different laws from the people who actually fucking matter, which is the majority of the country. Fuck! Cis people never realize how anti-trans laws will affect them until it directly does affect them. That's true. And it's going to continue to get worse. My mom is 45, unmarried, has had 3 children, and doctors still won't tie her tubes because what if her husband wants another baby? Absurd. Absolutely insane. Conservatives love to bring up freedom of speech at every opportunity, but they conveniently turn a blind eye to separation of church and state when asked to give an argument against abortion or LGBT issues not rooted in religion. Well, that's the danger of someone like Ben Shapiro, is that he pretends to be secular. He pretends as if he's, this fucking beacon of facts and truth and logic, when ultimately everything is derived from his faith. Everything is derived from his twisted, sickening, disgusting interpretation of the Torah that the majority of American Jews would find absolutely repulsive. Using like any religion to justify the way that people are treated in this country is fucking disgusting. Yeah, he wears a yarmulke constantly. Always. It's part of his brand. Judaism is cool with abortion. Abortion is in the fucking Torah and the Bible. The founding fathers were cool with abortion too. Judaism also insists that you please your wife during sex. Not joking. Ben doesn't seem to follow that one too good either.
That's why you should ignore what's happening with sperm and egg.
So it's really
I'm going to ignore what happens between Ben's brain cells because nothing happens. Wet ass P word. It's in the Torah. Look it up. It is actually. The Sabbath is supposed to be a night of men pleasing their wives.
encourage you to
And it's Saturday, baby.
not tell women what to do and not
He can't handle it, dude. Ben's getting fucking possessed because he can't handle not telling women what to do. I guess we do not need to do a poll for Bill being hot. It's unanimous. I've been fucking stick bugged, man. I got fucking stick bugged. At a moment of a heated gamer moment, I got fucking stick bugged.
pursue these laws that really are in nobody's best interest.
They're in nobody's best interest except for the unborn child. Also, what is a woman?
Wow. I literally pre-watched because earlier in this fucking video, I literally made the joke. Bill Nye says that only women can get pregnant. I was like, he's not going to do it because he's thinking up an argument. And he literally did it. He was like, but you just said that only women can get pregnant. Wow. Low-hanging fruit, huh? And fucking some dumb Twitch streamer can predict what you're about to say. Maybe you're not the intellectual giant that the media used to think you were.
Are in nobody's best interest.
They're in nobody's best interest except for the unborn child. Also, what?
Unborn, not a child. So the limitation of rights in the United States is when your rights infringe on others, right? If you want to be a fucking debate lord about it, you can't have someone living inside you without your consent. Can't do it. Having sex does not guaranteed to lead to a pregnancy, because that's when conservatives have nothing else to say. That's just what they throw out there. It's just like, well, just be more selective about how you have sex. Just don't have sex till you get married. Don't have sex till you're ready to have a fucking baby. As if that's realistic at all by any metric. Matt Walsh, who admitted to not caring about a kid's consent. Matt Walsh, who has, you know, topless pictures of a trans boy, I think, or trans girl in his documentary. Creepy shit. Does Ben know about the many, many other sperm cells that don't end up being babies? Well, there's no egg there, so it's fine. So let's say, hypothetically, what if 2 fertilized eggs in the womb, right? Twins. Happens all the time. One of the twins absorbs the other one. Do you want to charge the twin with fucking murder? That's a life. You just ended a life. And that happens quite a bit into the pregnancy as well. That can happen in the second trimester, I'm pretty sure. What, do you want to give the fucking baby the death penalty? Just ended a life. Fucking ridiculous.
I love that he just comes back to his truism. You can't tell women what to do. The entire point is, I'm not telling a woman what to do with her body. I'm telling her what she can't do to somebody
You really
else's
have
body.
no idea how much you getting upset makes me happy, not in a weird way, but in a way that shows you truly care and that I'm not the only one who gets incredibly angry watching these types of videos. Thank you for caring less than 3.
Yeah, no worries. Glad I can help. Yeah, the ding sound fucking sucks. Also, how can you say with a straight fucking face somebody else's body? The body isn't made yet, Ben. It has a tail. Like, come the fuck on. It doesn't have fucking fingers, you stupid piece of shit. Someone else's body. Shut the fuck up. And you are telling her what she can't do to her body. It's her fucking uterus, you stupid piece of shit. Yeah, he does look like he has fucking fillers in his bottom lip, but it's just the lighting.
The independent human life within her.
Maybe it's not. Did he get stung by a fucking bee?
That would be the thing. We'll get to more on this in just 1 second. First, I've debunked communism, JFK conspiracy.
Ben Shapiro has debunked communism. Ben Shapiro has debunked communism. Ben Shapiro has debunked communism. Ben Shapiro has debunked communism.
Conspiracies and other disputed topics. I haven't yet debunked the huge lie surrounding store-bought meat.
Ben Shapiro cannot grill.
Grocery stores and leftists, they'll tell you to buy
Ben Shapiro's ads make it so clear that everything he says is a grift.
that grass-fed super omega, morally superior, equity-bringing, live your truth beef.
Yeah, don't buy that. Oh my God. Ugh, look at that.
Push the lie that those labels mean anything at all.
Ben Shapiro made that shit well done, dude. He's got ketchup on the side. He's got A1 in the back. He's got that shit fucking, he's got that crisped up. He fucking burnt that shit. Look at this. Ben. This is the most egregious thing you've done yet.
But they don't mean a thing. They're all
Grocery stores and leftists don't want you to eat real meat. They want you to eat that grass-fed shit. Instead, eat meat that's been caged. Eat meat that's been beaten. Eat meat that's been tortured. Do not season it. The left wants you to season your meat. Do not do it. It's a ploy.
Often slapped on products imported from overseas with more frequent
I bet it's not kosher. No shot.
flyer miles than you have. Here is the label that matters. One
Ah, look at that.
products imported from overseas
Look at this. This is a nightmare blunt rotation, by the way.
with more frequent
They're all in their costumes. This is like a fucking Vought ad from The Boys.
Come on, guys, knock it off.
flyer miles than you have. Here is the label.
Let's get some crackers in the chat because I think Ben needs some Ritz crackers. That's the only reason. I'm not saying anything. He aborted the E. coli.
Here is the label that matters. 100% American meat. And Good Ranchers has it. Good that matters. 100% American meat. 100% American meat.
Why he's gotta say it like that?
And Good Ranchers has it. Good Ranchers, only sources from farms
Just fucking threw that. Is that...
and ranches.
You can count how many pieces of salt are on this fucking steak, dude.
Which is right here in the United States.
No! This is so embarrassing. No! It's over. It's over.
Maybe you thought a steak cooking over a fire couldn't get more
I'm so scared of this.
American. It can with any box of Good
See that? Just...
Ranchers.
Look at that.
I'm told the iron levels of Daily Wire employees are at an all-time high. Did you just
The iron levels of Daily Wire employees? Was he measuring their blood? What? There is so much fucking happening in this ad. I'm losing my mind.
how good Good Ranchers really is? Ditch the mystery meat aisle. Order from Good Ranchers today. Trust where your meat comes from. You wouldn't invite a stranger to dinner, so don't invite strange meat. Use my code Shapiro. Get $30 off your box of
I mean, they know who they're fucking marketing to, I guess.
steakhouse quality cuts plus free shipping. Change the way you think about meat and the way you buy it. Your purchase not only strengthens American farms, it also supports what we do here at the Daily Wire. So head on over to goodranchers.com/Shapiro today to debunk store-bought meat with me.
Debunk store-bought meat. All right. Jesus Christ, man. They're just tanning it, yeah. They're making jerky over here. No juice. They say care about the kids, but feed them this.
He's wearing smart guy glasses. This means he's smart, probably.
Come on, man. Ben Shapiro's entire brand is talking really fast, so it's hard to keep track of what he's saying, so he sounds smart. His glasses are pretty whack, though.
Have you ever heard of a band called...
I really want to know... Joji is one of, like, my dream interviews, because I never liked Filthy Frank. And that might be something that we dive into one day, because it'd be fun to do a video about that. Because oh, you know there's some Ben Shapiro editors that are a fan of Joji. Or not Joji, but Filthy Frank. And I want to know what Joji would say about that. You know what I mean? There's not a single person of color at the barbecue. That's why you can count the salt.
One of the first questions people have to think about is, are fetuses persons?
Nope.
Now
Neither are zygotes.
that's a very important linguistic question.
I think this is bullshit. We really need it because the whole, like, where does life begin shit is so irrelevant. It is completely irrelevant. Not even Candace Owens showed up. That's funny. Jordan Peterson didn't show up either. So much for his all-meat diet. He's on the Daily Wire now, so it's weird that he wasn't there. No, this whole argument about, like, when does life begin is so irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. And, like, liberals like this, caving to that and, like, insisting that they have to, like, fight on conservative terms is very frustrating. Ignore it. Someone asks you, it's ending a life. No, it's not. When does life begin? Doesn't matter. If a life began inside you, you'd probably have a lot different things to say about it.
Persons. I didn't say human beings. I didn't say alive. Those are three different issues, right?
Ben Shapiro loves fucking playing with words until nothing means anything. So he's probably going to get very frustrated at this and probably just go, but he's just fucking dumb. He's probably just going to bumble about it because he's stupid. They cared about lives not being ended. They would advocate for better healthcare and better gun control, and they would not advocate for the death penalty, but they love the death penalty because they love killing when they get to do it.
Something can be alive but not be a person. Your dog is a good example. You might love your dog. It's a wonderful thing, but it's not a person.
Is an unborn
Something
person
can
a
be
dog?
human.
You guys ever see kids react? This reminds me of a lot of that.
And potentially not be a person, right? Some people think the early embryo, for example, before 14 days, or stem cells being derived, are members of the human species, but may not be persons. So what do we mean by persons? We mean something that has a certain set of moral and or legal rights.
God, Ben, fire your editors, dude. They're not doing you any favors.
The most important of which is a right against...
What the fuck is this fucking Darth Vader fucking screen? This sucks. Look at this fucking gremlin. He looks like one of the kids on Kids React. He does.
Viability.
He's also 5'2", so it doesn't help.
They can't be killed or destroyed or harmed without very good reason.
Okay, so I've noticed an extraordinary amount of circular logic here.
Let's see it, Ben.
Circle detected. Okay, so get this. You ready? A person is a human being with rights. A human being with rights is a person.
What? That's just saying the same thing twice. You just reorganize the words. That's not circular logic. That's just a reinforcement of a point.
At no point do you define what makes a human being the human being with rights.
He's not trying to define it. He was just reinforcing his point. Even if he was, what makes a human being with rights? Just a motherfucker that got born did. Life begins at birth. Because what the fuck else does birth mean, you stupid asshole?
At no point does he define when a human being transforms from a human being without rights into a human being with rights.
So when the fuck does a human being transform from fucking nothing into a human being? Ben would say the instant of conception, but that's just not true. Human beings aren't microscopic. Human beings are inside of other human beings.
So he just completely avoids the argument through this magical circle. A person is a human being with rights. A human being with rights is a person.
Ben, you define a person. Cocksucker. Is a person when a sperm cell and an egg cell touch? Because that's not a good definition. You can't legislate based on that. Because there are probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands of examples of fertilized eggs in women right now, right this instant. The majority of those will probably not become people. Or maybe not a majority, but a plurality of those will not become people. So is there just mass murder happening? Ben would say yes, but that's absurd and a very stupid, childish way to live your life.
Okay, define human being with rights.
And there are a few different kinds of theories you can have. One could be just to say, if X is living and a human being, X is a person, right? Now, some people have problems with that. So Peter Singer...
This is why this argument is so stupid. This is why the where life begins shit is stupid. Because you have this weird motherfucker, I don't even know who he is, trying to define, okay, so now we're defining life. Okay, so now we're defining begins. Okay, now we're defining person. Okay, now we're defining birth. Okay, now we're defining fertilized. Okay, now we're defining sperm. We can just go down this endlessly. Conservatives do not give a shit. They have no moral spine. They will continue to challenge every single definition that you bring up until you just say, fuck you, it doesn't matter, I'm aborting you with a gun. What is a woman? Yeah, what is a sperm, bitch?
And some animal rights advocates.
Life begins when you start making money and getting bitches. Life begins when you collect bands. Does that not compute? Life begins when you get racks.
For example, think that that's a speciesist attitude, that by saying human equals person, it's problematic that we're excluding animals.
This is the worst video I've ever seen. We really need to stop letting liberals defend abortion. That's the worst thing about this, right? Is that like so many liberals will get worked up about Roe v. Wade being overturned. I mean, for well-meaning reasons, but none of them have the fucking ability to justify it in a way that's consistent and makes sense and doesn't sound like a fucking moron, which is perfect bait for someone like Ben Shapiro, who is a moron, who makes money talking about even worse morons like liberals. Because conservatives are stupid. Liberals are dangerous because they have a lot of power.
Right. He's wrong. I mean, listen, I will give it to Peter Singer.
Dude, he can't even... I'm doing a better job ripping this stupid fake glasses wearing asshole apart, and Ben can't even do it. He's in shock because he's that brain dead. Fuck.
Peter Singer is a logical thinker. He is. He is consistent. Peter Singer literally believes that you should be able to murder a baby past its birth.
When did he say that? When did he say that? I think I should be allowed to murder Ben post-birth in Minecraft.
He says this. He's not closeted about this. He says...
Pull it up.
That because babies
Where's the clip?
are not sentient.
Where's the quote?
Essentially have the same mental function as some kinds of animals.
He never said any of this.
This means you should
You can't even debunk this asshole based on the things that he's saying. You have to debunk him based on things he didn't say. Cool, man. I love when people do that.
be able to abort, and when I say abort, I mean murder, a child post-birth.
I'm going to abort myself if I have to listen to any of this in a Minecraft, in the video game, in Mario.
So I will give Peter Singer perfect points for consistency. But citing Peter Singer as your moral authority is sort of a risky business, as it turns out.
What are you trying to legislate based on morality now, asshole? It doesn't matter. We don't do that here. That's not how it works. If we legislated based on morality, people you know, like Milo Yiannopoulos, would be in fucking prison for pedophilia.
So other people have sometimes what
Allegedly.
called a capacity X view, where they say, in order to be a person, you have to have X capacity. And then we have to fill in what X is. Is it the ability to think complex thoughts, the ability to plan and look towards the future, the ability to feel pain, whether you understand it? Is it about continuity of an identity over time, or is it merely being alive and breathing?
Okay, so here's
None of this is fucking relevant to the conversation. This is a rights issue. This is a women's rights issue, and all this fucking bullshit fluff, liberal ass fucking aesthetics don't matter. This is a rights issue, period. End of story. Can you legislate someone to get a medical procedure that they want? No. That's the answer. Doesn't matter. I am consistent. Ben is stupid and a worm.
the problem. Any standard other than alive and breathing means that you're going to be murdering people unborn in the womb.
Unborn, not people, period. That's it.
Any other standard he mentioned there. So, discontinuity of identity. We have people who have conditions where they have discontinuity of identity. Can you murder them? Do they have human value?
Ben, you have no human value.
How about thinking complex thoughts? Have you ever met a small child? They don't think complex thoughts. Or a person who is very elderly and may be losing mental function. Honest to goodness, the standards that he is using here are completely applicable to people who are fully grown.
And the standards you use for how much you can legislate based on medical preferences can be applied to fucking you. That's it. Ben Shapiro needs brain surgery. I'm making it illegal for people to get brain surgery. Cool. Die.
You know, you find out when you think this thing through, it turns out that every standard other than being a human being with potential, other than being a member of the species Homo sapiens, any other standard leads you to some pretty dark roads here.
And then there are complex questions about what happens for things that have the potential to have capacity X or had capacity X but lost it.
I hope more babies are aborted than ever before so they don't have to exist in a world in which Ben Shapiro also exists. So what about the adults who can have complex thought getting the death penalty? Why is that okay? Because they deserve it.
So for example, a fetus doesn't have the ability, as early fetus, let's just say an embryo, just to make it very easy, an embryo before 14 days.
This is so hard to watch. My tum-tum hurts. Can we switch to monkey videos?
We're almost done.
Doesn't have the capacity to think deep thoughts about the future, have future orientation. I think that's pretty well accepted by everyone. But it certainly has the potential to do so.
Of course he's spending so much time on this instead of anyone who's making a fucking rational argument. Again, Ben Shapiro's producers saw this and they were like, this will be perfect for Ben. He doesn't know how to structure a coherent sentence, so we're gonna hit him with this one.
And the question is that enough? What kind of theory of potentiality? You know, hydrogen and oxygen each have the potential together to become water. But does that mean that they are water? They have the metaphysical properties of water?
No. No, that's that's at least the first fucking solid argument I've heard from this motherfucker. Ben Shapiro is one of my motivations to keep living when I'm considering unaliving. Can't let that bastard outlive me. Keep that energy. Be petty.
No,
Or
that's
do we
that's
require
stupid.
more
Oh, okay, Ben said it's stupid. All right.
of a kind of potentiality? Something like, in the natural course of things, you will become something.
Well, I mean, obviously the latter. That's like saying that sperm and egg, apart from one another, have the potential to become a human being. Apart from each other, they don't. Combined, they do.
Okay, so if you nut while someone loses an egg because they're shedding their uterine wall because they're on their period, then, oh man, a murder just took place because the potential life didn't see through. Ben is hyperfixating on where this combination of sperm and egg lives, when in reality, it doesn't matter. If this combination of sperm and egg go down the fucking toilet, then it's fine, according to Ben. But if this combination of sperm and egg happen to be in a woman's uterus, then that is immediately a life. That instant. Bullshit.
I mean, it's the latter, obviously. When you say potential human being, you mean this is a human being with potential, as Robert George says from Princeton.
Now, even if you think
No. A potential human being is not a human being with potential. That's a completely different thing, you stupid piece of shit. Fuck, man.
something is a person, that doesn't necessarily mean you've solved the abortion problem. So it is possible, although popular among philosophers, not so popular in the political press, to say fetuses are persons, and yet abortion is still legal and justified. How does that argument go? The suggestion is that there is a
I hate this, dude. I hate this so much. I hate so much of this. I fucking hate this because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is debate lord shit. This does not matter to the fucking 14-year-old pregnant teenager in Oklahoma who needs to have an abortion in order to live her life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She doesn't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Ben doesn't actually give a shit.
a right of another entity that has overcome whatever.
Yeah, what about IVF? What if you have a sperm and an egg in a petri dish and you throw it against the wall? Is that murder, Ben? Or is it different when it's inside someone's uterus?
Interest the fetus has. And that is the right typically of the mother who is gestating the fetus. So the claim is, yes, a fetus is a person. Yes, abortion will cause the death of a person, but that doesn't mean
Bullshit. That's concession to nonsense.
that abortion is wrong.
This is the most liberal shit because you're conceding. You're like, well, yeah, maybe it's, it's abortion is murder, but it's okay. And it's like, no, fuck that. It's not murder. It's not a person. It's not a life. It's bullshit. Fuck off. Eat my ass. Fuck you.
Because the woman gestating the fetus has a right to stop that gestating, even if it'll result in the death of a person.
Now, you can see why that might be popular among certain philosophers, but is wildly unpopular with the American people. Because
That's not even true. That's literally a lie. 75% of the country supports Roe v. Wade. 75, bitch. 75, Ben. What do you have to say about that?
it turns out that that is a horrifying moral argument that is, again, broadly applicable to situations beyond fetushood.
But we're not talking about situations outside of fetushood, you asshole. What if the fetus is woke? What if the fetus is trans? You want to kill it then? I'm sure you do.
When do my rights conquer your ability to live?
When your ability to live, when it's inside you, Ben, when it's in your fucking belly, when it's literally in your stomach, that's when. That's exactly when. So you can't take this example and apply it to examples that aren't the same thing. Things are different than other things.
Throughout human history, by the way, there have been multiple societies where the dehumanization of other people has allowed people to argue for their mass murder.
Yes, dude. It's genocide. Yes. Yes, abortion is genocide, Ben. You're totally right. That's not disrespectful to your own fucking Jewish heritage. Awesome.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
It's funny because he put in Shrek.
I'm not just talking about the Holocaust. I'm talking about throughout human history.
God, oh my God, oh my God. Ben Shapiro, don't equate abortion to the Holocaust challenge. Impossible difficulty.
That chain of thought, that this is a person with a right to life, and my countervailing rights overcome that right to life, that is an argument with an extraordinarily ugly history.
Yeah, when it's applied to real people, not goo in someone's fucking belly.
You know, the fact that that last argument is so ugly is why they spend so much time trying to say that this is not a person. Because if they admit that this is a person, and that the person has rights, that a human being with potential...
What other rights does it have? Can it vote? Can it drive? Can it own property? Can it fucking roam around the street? No, it has no rights. It has one right, according to Ben, and that's to fucking feed off of whatever the mother's eating. Great. Good right. Can't even fucking breathe. Can't do fucking math. No bitches.
potential is in fact a human being, then all the other arguments fall away pretty quickly. And they know this, which is why they never resort to this final argument. Again,
Yeah, is he pro tapeworm too?
the clearer they are in their arguments, the uglier the argument is. If they're very clear, like Peter Singer, that small babies who are not fully sentient should be treated basically like embryos and then killed, then their entire argument looks too ugly. And so instead, they have to just ignore the personhood of the fetus or pretend that the personhood of the fetus does not exist at all.
Oh my God. He probably has a beating heart, you know. It can feel pain, and it has fingernails.
I hope Ben Shapiro can feel pain, and I hope he feels it every single day. You're really bad at this, Ben. I know your producers thought this would be a softball, but the way you bumble through your own lack of logic is literally making me want to abort myself. Sorry, I got a little fucking heated in that one.
Have abortions sometimes? No, I'ma have abortions always.